Hi everyone, my name is Donna. I am the owner here at Bookkeeping Made Simple. Today I want to talk about a saying that I actually don't know how common this is, but it's very common among my friend group, and the saying is, you can't manage what you don't measure. And I want to talk about that a little bit because it's a critical principle that it's important to understand. I personally, like most women, I struggle with weight loss. I struggle with having the body that I want. Um, it's a it's a girl thing. Uh, I I know a lot of guys who are in the same boat. They want to lose weight. And a lot of times it's just a nebulous. Well, I want to lose weight. Um, and I am going to refer this back to business. So be patient with me. But they don't do anything about it really. So what I've always done, and I used to do a lot of weight training, what I've always done is I have written down what was my weight that morning, what were my measurements, especially my waist circumference. I've measured how much did I eat, what exactly did I eat, what mood was I in when I ate it, what exercise I did, how intense it felt, how tired I was that evening, everything that I could write down as that pertained to health. Anything, any medications that I took, any over-the-counter medications, did I drink alcohol, anything that had anything to do with anything that I put into my body, I wrote it down. Any outputs as far as exercise, I wrote it down. And then I would write down the measurements that I was looking for. Waist circumference is an important one, more than BMI is, and scale weight, because that would help me kind of determine if I'm gaining muscle and that's why the scale's not budging, or if I am just bloated. There's especially being a woman, there's a lot of things that go into that. I write down what hormones I took from, as I am getting about old enough that I'm on some hormones. Everything that I would take into my body, I wrote down, and then the outputs of exercise basically I would write down, and then the next morning I could look and see, well, swimming for 3 months didn't do much to budge my body weight, but walking with hand weights is doing a lot. I'm seeing results there over a month, so I can start looking, going, this is what my particular body likes. Everybody's body is different. It's the same thing in your business. The same thing in just about all aspects of your life. So there's a couple of things I want to really, really dial into. More than weight loss. This isn't really so much about weight loss. It is about business and it's about personal development. When you run a business, you need to be aware of what your numbers are. If you're managing a business, let me say this again, you can't manage what you don't measure. So if you don't know what your revenue is and when it's coming in and what your outflow is and when your bills are due and what your payroll is and how productive your employees are, you're not going to be able to run your business the way it should be run. You might be successful kind of in spite of yourself, and I've seen that, but you will be way more efficient if you know what your numbers are and you're putting attention on where they are and where you want them to be. So there's the two sides to it. I write my goals down every month. I write down what my previous month's revenues were. I write down what sometimes there's 2 or 3 previous months' revenue. I look and see what the growth or shrinkage was, and then I write down what my goal is for this month. And my goal is always something that I'm going to have to stretch for. It's never something that I think, well, I'm going to make this much. It's something where I'm going, okay, I have to get out and hustle to really make this money. And I like doing that because even if I miss my goal, I'm further ahead than where I was. So and then I start, brainstorming, how do I get from point A to point B? And one of the things that I've learned over time is that there's always a way to get from where you are to where you want to be. Now, you might not know what that way is. And I have said this so many times. I know there's a way to do what I want to do. I just don't know what it is, but I know it exists. So I keep track of what I want kept track of. And then I put my focus on what are my revenues. This is where I'm putting my focus right now. Later it might be profit margin, okay? Because I have an idea of what my profit margin is. I know how to figure that out. I have no problems knowing that number, but I really want to focus on revenue right now. As I'm putting my attention on revenue, my business is transforming, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail about that, but it is transforming. You can do this in your business. We can help you do it because we can track your revenue. Whatever it is that you need tracked in your business, it's usually really wise to get an outside bookkeeping firm to do that for you because you pay us, and so we do that. It's really something that you don't want to push it to the back of your desk, and a lot of business owners do. Also, the other thing you want to focus on, and this is more of a personal development topic, or approach rather, a personal development approach, is keep track of what you want in your life. Now, my goal, I have this, I'm going to make this a little bit more personal. I've suffered from clinical depression for a great deal of my life, especially as an adult. I have really, really struggled with it. I've struggled with very unwelcome thoughts. I've struggled with body image. I still struggle with body image. I look in the mirror and I see a 17-year-old, and then I wonder who on earth, what happened to the 17-year-old I keep thinking of myself as. Let me think how to explain that. It's very easy for me to dwell on the negative, like most people. It's very easy for me to be very focused on everything that's going wrong in my life. And it's very easy for me to blame others for everything that I think is going wrong in my life. And I have found, and many other business coaches have also promoted this idea, I have discovered that journaling and keeping a gratitude journal and focusing on what I do want has made a world of difference. And one of the things I decided that I wanted was joy. And that's really hard to quantify. But I know the feeling, and I know that whatever that is, I want more of it, and I have called it joy. It could be bliss, it could be euphoria, and I know the things that bring me joy. So I've decided I want more of that, and one of the things that brings me joy is to focus on the things that I'm thankful for. I live in a very nice home. I'm very thankful for that. I live with a man that I adore. I'm very thankful for that. Of course, there's some flies in the ointment, so to speak. But every morning he gets up, and I'm thankful for that. There's just so much to be thankful for that um, just ashamed to start dwelling on the things that you don't want. Now, we are kind of wired to compare, so it's very easy for me to compare um, myself to my sisters-in-law who are smaller than me and younger than me, and say, oh, well, I don't look as good as her, my hair's not as long, and my waist isn't as small, and of course I have more kids than all of them put together. Um, or I don't have the degrees that I want, compared to other people in my life. I'm really excited because my dad has a master's degree. I'm working on my master's degree. One of my brothers has a master's degree, and so they're the ones I'm comparing myself to. So I will be the first woman in my generation to have a postgraduate degree. Um, or maybe not. My youngest sister may have one. I'm not sure, but I will have a postgraduate degree, and there's not very many women in my family that have done that. Especially not at my age, which I'm not going to reveal. Um, I'm thankful for the internet. That's a huge thing to be thankful for. And I will go down the list and talk about all the things that I'm thankful for. I have a nice home. I have a nice car. I have money in the bank. I am wealthier than 99% of the world's population. I'm not in the one. I mean, I am in the 1%, but I'm not in the 0.0001%. I'm not a Rothschild. I'm not super wealthy. I'm really not very wealthy to me, to my standards. But if I look at people who really don't have much, if I look at the way I lived when I first moved to Utah, when we were really, really struggling, I have become quite successful, and I'm thankful for that. And it's not just material things. It's just knowing that I was able to, I'm able to feed my kids. I'm able for them to go to college. I'm able to do the things that I really want to do. I've always been able to find a way, and because I'm that resourceful, I become more successful. I don't want this to come across as saying that, oh, I'm so rich. But when you look at the world's population, and I go, well, I have a car, and my husband has a car. We're very wealthy just because of that. When most people in the world do not have cars. Now, compared to other Americans, maybe not. Compared to where I want to be, maybe not. Compared to other members of our family, we're kind of in the middle. We're middle class. But then I look at, when I first moved to Utah, I had a car that broke down all the time. And I was trying to raise 3 kids as a single mom with no help, and go to school, and do all this other things. And so some of the things that I really take for granted are things that other people look at me and say, you did what? So I really focus on the things that I'm thankful for. And because of that, I get more of the things that I'm thankful for. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Focus on the things that you love, the things that you're thankful for, the things that mean a lot to you. Don't focus on the negative, and don't focus on what the Joneses down the street have that maybe you want. It's nice to have those things. It's nice to enjoy those things. But it's a mistake to pin your self-worth to those things. It's really better to think about how wonderful your life really is. And even if it's horrible, you're still here. I've come from a background where I was a battered wife. I came from a great childhood. I have wonderful parents. And then my first husband was, he mistook me for a punching bag. He has since, our daughter is 34. So he has since done a lot better, and I'm very happy to give him credit for that. But I came from this relationship where it was very, very abusive, and being able to look at that and saying, now I'm in this other relationship, which is amazing. And, there's no abuse. There's a tremendous amount of support. And, this is the relationship I've always wanted. I can really, I could get very caught up in discussing Chris's flaws, and he has a ton of them. But the reality is, he's not perfect and I'm not perfect, but we try to be perfect for each other. And one of those things is we try to encourage each other to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Now, if you apply all these principles, or this one principle that I'm kind of explaining and talking around, to your business, if you look at your business and you see, where do I want to be, and where am I, do you have to know where you're at? Where am I today? What are my numbers? And then you can start looking at, how do I get there? How do I get from point A to point B? And it's going to be different for every business, and it's going to be different for every person. So keep that in mind. That's really what I wanted to talk about. I probably bring this topic up again because I really think it's critical that what you measure is where you get your results. If you are on YouTube, well, regardless of where you're seeing this video, please like, share, and subscribe. That is how I grow my channel. And feel free, if you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell so that you are alerted when I upload a new video. I'm trying to be more consistent with these. I've been struggling quite a bit with consistency. That's one of my personal struggles. And sadly, that is really where you get a lot of growth, is these small habits done consistently over time, which I'm going to talk about in a later video. And I will talk to you soon.